Hi, my name is Kenneth Glynn, and today I'm going to be talking to you about migratory movements of juvenile American robins with elevated blood lead from Flint, Michigan. So to start, we know that lead is a neurotoxin, and that exposure and accumulation is really dangerous and can even be fatal for organisms. So lead is particularly detrimental during early life stages. It can cause things like developmental delays, cognitive impairments, behavioral dysfunction, and even impact locomotion, balance, and depth perception. In 2014, lead entered into the city of Flint's drinking water supply. This became known essentially as the Flint water crisis. While the residents of Flint were advised not to drink the water, less caution was given to cease irrigation practices. Thus, lead could have potentially been released into the urban environment, ending up in urban soils. So this could be potentially problematic for songbirds like the American robin, that spend certain times of the year foraging really heavily on soil-dwelling vertebrates, such as earthworms. So some of our preliminary research has suggested that juveniles in Flint have higher blood lead on average compared with their adult and nestling counterparts, as you can see from the graph on the right. So we have age on the x-axis, nestlings, juveniles, and adults, and blood lead on the y-axis. So if juveniles are facing a higher exposure risk, this could impact their ability to effectively learn essential survival skills due to the neurotoxic effects of lead and its disproportionate impact on developing young. So one such really important survival skill being migration. Things like responding to cues that trigger migratory behavior, settlement behaviors, migration pathway recognition, etc. So we predict that juveniles with high blood lead may experience decreased survivability and abnormal settlement behavior during their first annual migration. So how we plan to assess this is we will affix radio transmitters to juveniles with both high and low blood lead in Flint between May and August and during the breeding season of this year and hopefully into next year. We'll do this at 2 watered locations in Flint, 2 watered college campuses, and we will monitor their movement from hatch year of fall migration through the following spring using the Motus Wildlife Trackingnetwork. It will collect a blood sample to determine the blood lead value before we affix the transmitter, and we'll collect body measurements to assess body condition and get a good measure of their overall health and fitness. Thank you for your time.